You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on our YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we're going to start tonight continuing to talk about the devastating crash that took the lives of 4 people on Wednesday. Earlier this evening, Southern Power Company released a statement honoring their friend and colleague, Gary Lyles. He was the 4th person killed in that tragic accident. That statement read in part, quote, "We are devastated by this loss of life and are cooperating with local authorities as they search for the cause of the crash. But what we do know is that 4 lives were taken too soon, and we grieve for these families as well as the broader community in and around Odessa." Our coverage of this story does not end here. We've shared images from last night's vigil, a GoFundMe honoring the children killed, and what we know about this tragic accident. You can find that all up on our website. That's firstalert7.com. And across West Texas, 13 migrants, including children, were rescued from Big Bend National Park today. That was after a distress call. U.S. Border Patrol agents and National Park Service rangers were called by one of the migrants who were abandoned by human smugglers in a remote area with rugged terrain. Now, all 13 of them were evaluated by a medical technician, and they were all found to be okay. We're tracking crime across West Texas region now with an update that we first alerted you to back in June. You're looking now at Ernesto Villarreal. He just pled guilty to fraudulently using Valentine ISD funds for his personal expenses. It's believed that he stole around $300,000 from the school district for a wide range of expenditures, including Airbnbs, flights, home improvements, and so much more. On top of all of that, he also obtained payroll details for other staff members and rerouted their checks to his bank account. Now, he is scheduled to be sentenced on February 21st, 2025, and he faces up to 10 years in prison. You can find all of our coverage on this story, including his original arrest. That's up on our website, firstalert7.com. And the city of Odessa says municipal court will remain closed until Monday. That's after a cybersecurity breach. The city tells First Alert 7 that a malicious script was identified and removed from their system. They say it was found and stopped before any information could get in or out, but systems have been down for more than 24 hours. Now, they've not updated us on when you can pay your bills again. That'll be either in person or online. But the city did say that any payments due on November 21st will not be considered late. And people in southeast New Mexico can feel a little bit safer today. The Lee County Sheriff's Office says that there is no medical or legal significance to the human remains that were found in Jal, New Mexico. You'll remember earlier this month, law enforcement announced that they had found 10 to 20 fragments of skull on a property there in Jal. The Office of Medical Investigator confirmed that 7 skulls were found on the property, each of them featuring ornamental pieces embedded or carved into them. Now, they did determine that the skulls were bought online and came from outside of the United States. The sheriff's office added that the remains will be medically cremated. And we're looking at safety across the state. DPS are rolling out more animal units to the border. Take a look. This is the first ever DPS border mounted patrol unit, and the unit has 3 teams that will patrol in Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs, and Del Rio. DPS say that the horses will be an asset in challenging terrains, as well as 8 new K9 teams that have graduated. They'll be working with DPS to detect narcotics and explosives. 3 of the teams are trained tracking K9s that can track scents through urban and rural environments. And another way lawmakers are trying to keep Texans safe is through federal grant money, Senator John Cornyn helped get the Texas governor's office over $1 million to fund efforts to reduce violent crimes in our district. Now, the Western District of Texas will get $350 to $919. The money will go to crime prevention and intervention strategies. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. She's got your weekend weather. Sawyer.
We are going to see things continuing to warm up as we head throughout the next couple of days. Here's a look at those first alert weather headlines with instinctively warm temperatures ahead for the weekend. Holiday travel is looking good though if you are heading anywhere for the Thanksgiving holiday. Cooling things down though just in time for Thanksgiving. Here's a look at those hourly temperatures as we head through tonight. Going to be a cool but pleasant start to our day coming up for our Saturday, but still a little bit warmer than we have been seeing. And looking ahead to our weekend forecast, 73 degrees for that high tomorrow with sunny and warm conditions, 80 coming up for our Sunday with very warm conditions and mostly sunny skies. And looking at our temperature trend as we head throughout the next 6 days or so, we are going to see above average temperatures continuing throughout the majority of that extended forecast. Finally starting to see things cooling down courtesy of a couple of cold fronts just in time for Thanksgiving. But like I mentioned, we are going to see dry conditions as we head throughout the next 10 days. So looking pretty good if you are doing any holiday travel throughout the extended period.
Thank you, Sawyer. Now that you've got your weekend weather, let's talk some weekend plans. This is your first alert for the Parks Legato Town Center Christmas Market. This weekend is the first time it'll be open this year, and it'll be open for 4 weekends in a row from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, all day Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sundays. There'll be vendors, foods, crafts, activities with Santa, and of course, holiday Christmas music. And don't forget, this Saturday, Santa is coming to town. He'll be visiting the Music City Mall, and festivities start at 9 a.m. Now, Santa will be flying in, but it's a bit too soon for reindeer, so he's coming in on a helicopter. There'll be live music, hot cocoa, a giant snow globe, a roller skate show, and even a preview of the Midland Festival Ballet's Nutcracker. Also happening tonight and tomorrow, you can see selections from Shakespeare's plays at Odessa's near exact replica of the Globe Theater. The Texas Shakespeare Festival Roadshow has a performance of Hamlet that happened tonight at 7, and Shakespeare's greatest hits will be performed tomorrow, also at 7. Tickets are $10, and they're on sale at odessashakespeare.org. Continuing our coverage of your weekend plans, the Ector County Coliseum will be home to the Tejano Supercar Show. But cool cars are not the only thing that the show has going on. It'll also see actor and artist Jesse Borrego as a guest speaker, I should say. And the kickoff is tomorrow at 11:30 at the Ector County Coliseum. And as you're out and about this weekend, we want to be the first to alert you about some potential traffic in the area. TxDOT says that crews will be sweeping and cleaning the interstate between Midkiff and Rankin Highway. They'll start at 9 a.m. That'll be going eastbound, and they expect to be finished by 1 p.m. tomorrow. TxDOT says to expect delays or find another route if possible. And UT Permian Basin is making strides in supporting veterans through a unique program that's funded by the National Endowment for Humanities. This program is called Dialogue on the Experience of War and trains community members to create a safe space for veterans to talk about their experiences. That'll be both in combat and as they reintegrate into family and community lifestyle. Statistics show that the veteran suicide rate is significantly higher than that of the civilian population. And this program aims to help change those statistics, as well as give veterans the support that they need in a unique way by using poetry, graphic novels, fiction, and memoirs. Things that let veterans reflect on their experiences and find meaning in their journeys.
Of course, any death is tragic, but that rate is very large, and this program aims to help combat that by showing that veterans are not in this fight alone, that they have friends and allies in their communities.
The program will end with an open forum where people can share their stories with family and community members if they choose to, fostering a greater understanding and connection for everyone.
Talking to friends and family who have never been in combat or never been in the military, it's just not the same. And to be able to share their stories with other veterans, it's more, I hate to call it a safe space, but it's more of an open space where people can speak freely, they can say whatever they want, not fear of being judged, and know that the other people in the room will understand what they've been through and be able to relate. And in that way, we can heal.
Small groups of about 10 veterans will meet in both Midland and Odessa. The program is expected to launch in the spring with an 8-week commitment. And just a little holiday alert for you. This is a reminder that all ECISD campuses will be closed next week. That'll be November 25th through November 29th for the Thanksgiving holiday. Classes will resume December 2nd. And Midland ISD's Jones Elementary School was selected the 2024 Elementary Campus of the Year by Summit K-12 out of over 4,000 schools. This award recognizes Jones Elementary's performance in the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System exam, that's a lot, and supporting emergent bilingual students. According to the school principal, Jones Elementary is considered one of the smallest campuses out of the 39 campuses in Midland ISD. Now, this Summit K-12 program helps bilingual students who are struggling to read and write. It also focuses on reading, writing, speaking, and listening, as well as preparing them to take this Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System exam. But outside of academia, it also helps them engage with their people around them a little bit easier.
In a quicker form and fashion to be able to communicate with their monolingual peers. So we see an increase of their self-esteem, we see an increase of their engagement in activities, we see an increased engagement with their families because the students want to be involved.
Jones Elementary currently serves as a bilingual campus for pre-K through 6th grade, and it also serves under 500 students, with 112 of those being bilingual. Talking some local sports now, we've got quite a few of our high school football teams still in the playoffs. Let's start in Odessa because the Panthers are playing right now. Permian is facing North Crowley for the second straight year in that same round, and it's familiar territory with Jeff Ellison, so he's got a bit of an idea what North Crowley brings to the table for the Mojo.
Yeah, they're a very talented team. They do a great job. They got a couple of good running backs. Quarterback, as we are familiar with from last year, does a great job of throwing and running. They're very talented on the edge as well. Good job up front with the offensive line. Defensively, they do a great job of flying around with the football. So.
There are plenty of more games going on tonight. Kahoma, they're taking on Canadian. Littlefield and Crane, they're playing in Lamesa. Jensen Young is there, and he'll have those highlights at 10. Stanton facing Idalou, and Idaran is facing Groover. Midland Legacy Rebels will be in action against Ulysses Trinity Trojans in the area round for the second year in a row. Both teams squared off this season in week 2. Ulysses Trinity is getting the edge over the Rebs. Clint Hartman is not worried about it, though, as his team's been thriving on a 4-game win streak, and he knows what to expect tomorrow afternoon. His team is bad to the bone, and they're ready to be active once 2 o'clock hits.
It's a different intensity. As Coach Parchman told me one time, the further you play, son, he goes, the shorter them speeches need to be because they know what's on the line, too. It's just different, even last week in the playoffs, you're watching film and everybody's more focused. They're just more in tune to everything. And yesterday or whatever, everybody's more in tune. It's just, they read those articles too. They listen to the news too. They know what's at stake.
The Midland Bulldogs will also be in action this weekend over in Abilene. Now, Midland took down El Paso Pebble Hills in the bi-district round, beating the Spartans for the second time this year. Tomorrow, they're playing the Crowley Eagles, a team that's been on the rise over the past 5 years, just like the Bulldogs. Head coach Thad Fortune expects a tough matchup come game time.
Crowley they're very dynamic. They have a very explosive offense. Their quarterback can score anytime he touches the ball. They got a slot. They got a running back that can really go as well. So very, very explosive offense. Defense runs around and gets to the ball well. And they had a good year last year, and they've done that again this year. So Coach Lynn's doing a good job in building a great program there. I think we just want to be sure we show up fresh and show up ready to play on Saturday.
The First Alert Sports team will have even more local sports coverage for you tonight at 10, so be sure to tune in. And coming up here at 9, local law enforcement officers are kicking off the holiday season with a little friendly competition. We're going to tell you how you can support when we come back. Midland public safety officers are trading their sirens for bells. They're taking on the Midland Fire Department to see who can collect the most money for the Salvation Army. Today, the Midland Fire Department kicked off the challenge, collecting money all day long. The police department will be ringing on December 20th, and to keep the challenge fair, both departments will be volunteering at the same location on the same day of the week with the same amount of time. They'll be ringing at the Midland Market Street on Midkiff Road.
Ultimately, this is a friendly competition that we have with the police department. Anytime we can create a friendly competition with the police department, we're definitely up for it, especially for a great cause like this.
Now, they do this competition every year, but this year's a little different. The winner gets to take home a trophy. All money from the All Red Kettles stays in Midland, and it'll help the Salvation Army serve those in need through their various services. Their goal is to raise $225,000 this year.
It was a warm one across the region today. We are going to continue to see things warming through the weekend. I'll have all the details and what to expect coming up after the break.
Now from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good evening and happy Friday, everybody. Overall, we saw a warm one across the region. We are just going to continue to see temperatures warming up as we head throughout the next couple of days. Just a reminder that we are 6 days away from Thanksgiving. It does get a little bit busy this time of year, so just a reminder there. And here's a look at our First Alert weather headlines. An unseasonably warm weekend is ahead. Holiday travel, though, is looking good, but we will be cooling things down just in time for Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. Here's a look at those weather makers. We do have this ridge of high pressure continuing to build and make its way a little bit further east, and that will help to bump those temperatures up even more as we head through the weekend. Average high for this time of year is about 65 degrees. Coming up for our Saturday, looking to be about 9 degrees above that normal high, 17 degrees above that normal high coming up on Sunday. But as we head through the week, a couple of cold fronts will bring some relief just in time for Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, with those temperatures about 5 degrees above normal for our Thanksgiving. Observed highs across West Texas and Southeast New Mexico today into the 70s and even a few 80s for far southern portions of the region. Got up to 73 in Midland today, 72 here in Odessa, 76 in Alpine, 75 in Presidio. And as we head through the overnight hours into our Saturday, looking to see a pleasant start to the day, a little bit on the cool side, but not quite as chilly as we have been seeing the past couple of days. For our futurecast, we are looking to see quiet conditions, clear skies through the overnight hours into our Saturday, with lots of sunshine and quiet conditions on tap as well. And that will continue as we head into our Sunday, with those temperatures warming up even more by the second half of the weekend. For tonight, like I mentioned, those clear skies, lows into the 30s and 40s, not quite as chilly as we have been seeing, but still a cool start to the day. 43 overnight in Midland and Odessa, 35 overnight in Pecos, 42 in Marfa, 45 in Presidio. Those winds look to be anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Coming up for our Saturday, lots of sunshine, quiet conditions, those highs in the 70s and 80s, 73 for the Midland Odessa area, 78 for Pecos, 81 for Fort Stockton, 84 Presidio, and winds anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Strongest winds located across the Permian Basin and into those higher elevations. Looking ahead to our First Alert 7-10-day forecast, even warmer still coming up for our Sunday. And we do have a couple of cold fronts on the way. The first one on Monday will cool things down about 10 degrees between Sunday and Monday. Even cooler coming up for our Tuesday with a high of 65. A secondary cold front on Wednesday will cool things down below normal for this time of year, just in time for that Thanksgiving holiday coming up on Thursday. But like I mentioned, if you are doing any holiday travel, looking to be good with dry conditions expected throughout the extended forecast.
Speaking of the Thanksgiving holiday, we've got some tips on how you can save some money next. All right, we want to help you with your holiday season and keep an eye on your money. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, you probably have a trip to the grocery store on your to-do list. But did you know there's one menu item where buying the name brand might actually save you some money? Susan Campbell has the secret and other ways to do Thanksgiving on a budget.
Turkey prices are pretty flat this season, according to a Wells Fargo analysis. That's a good thing, but we actually found a way for you to get your turkey for free. We also have a few other easy ways to save.
It's almost time to feast.
We saw that if we take a menu suited for 10 people with turkey, stuffing, salad, dinner rolls, pumpkin pie, cranberries, going with the store brands, you're going to save about $17 versus going with all name brands.
But there's one Thanksgiving staple where the name brand is the better buy.
comes with the name brand cranberries, that's where the deal is. So it was a great year for cranberries this year. And one of the name brand providers of cranberries really dominates in that market. And so they have that scale to really kind of meet the consumer at the price points that are a little bit more palatable these days.
Cheaper is good. Free is better.
Some grocery stores are offering special promos, offering a free frozen turkey when you spend a certain amount of money at their store.
That includes Albertsons. You can get a free turkey there, up to 24 pounds when you spend $100.
So the grocery stores are giving away these free turkeys. They're considering them their loss leaders because they're willing to lose profit on that turkey in order to get you in and spending more on other ingredients.
That's why it's so important to shop around, compare costs, and be sure to use store apps for digital coupons.
Money-saving mom Andrea Warwick says one of the easiest ways to save on the big meal, make it a potluck. Ask guests to bring their favorite dishes and spread out that cost. I'm Susan Campbell.
Still ahead, we've got one last look at your weather forecast before we head into the weekend. That's coming up after this quick break. We are looking at beautiful temperatures this weekend, so go out, enjoy some time outside. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9. We've got more news.